focus is a little different than the other parties. They focused only on so-called greenhouse gases and ignored smog entirely. Not a single one of the other parties has any proposal to control smog. That's part of the plan we're putting into place. Obviously, we pushed out the chemicals management plan, which is, actually Canada is the world leader now in terms of controlling and regulating and limiting the effects of chemicals that may have a long-term effect on health. So.
Oh, and by the way, in the budget, they just shut down the Emergency Response Office of Environment Canada to deal with oil spills. They've consolidated 5 offices to 1 office in Quebec.
It is very difficult to significantly lower emissions growth.
Warning of massive job losses and claiming the world doesn't yet have the technology to significantly cut emissions.
They cannot be simply reduced by declaring a target and saying it will be met just by sort of power of will, because that isn't going to happen.
Mr. Harper is at every turn undermining Canada's, he's undermining the global ability to respond to the climate crisis. He's playing the role of saboteur in global negotiations on the climate issue. And this is stark contrast to anything that preceded him.
I rise today with a genuine concern, and I hope the Prime Minister can allay my fears. I've heard from credible sources within the government that there is a proposal to eliminate Environment Canada by merging it with Natural Resources Canada. I would like to, and if it had not been from credible sources, I wouldn't be putting this question to you. I would like assurances that no such plan is under consideration.
Speaker, I'd be delighted to meet any of these credible sources and to correct any misinformation they may be giving the honourable member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Despite a misleading report on Environment Canada's site that uses per capita emissions, overall the delegates at Doha have heard Canada's greenhouse gas emissions have gone up again. I want to ask the Prime Minister, given that the scientific advice is increasingly clear that the impacts are coming faster than expected and are more severe than expected of the climate crisis, Arctic ice, permafrost, sea level rise, all these things occurring faster than anticipated. When was the last time the Prime Minister was briefed on the scientific aspect of this crisis, and who briefed him? Thank you.
I'm very surprised at this question from the leader of the Green Party. Just last week, on behalf of the government and the Minister from Newfoundland and Labrador, we announced one of the most important green energy initiatives in the history of this country, an initiative supporting the Lower Churchill and related developments that will take 4.5 megatons of greenhouse gas emissions out of our system. And yet the Green Party of Canada stood against it. On this side, Mr. Speaker, we are for helping the environment and making sure there's energy security and prosperity.